Hello all, this is Brian with Vermillion Enterprises. We are located at 5324 Spring Hill Drive in sunny Spring Hill, Florida. And today is April 5th, Tuesday. We've been trying to grow our YouTube channel lately, and so we've been putting up, trying to do daily videos with you guys and posting some questions as we go along. And in yesterday's video, we asked the question, should we talk about what's going on with Russia backing their ruble with gold? And a lot of people found that content to be interesting, so I figured we'd talk a little bit about that today. And let me put out there right away, I'm no financial analyst, I'm no financial advisor of any kind. These are just my thoughts about the situation. And one of our viewers posted something yesterday that I actually 100% agree with him. See if I can find it up here. Well, somewhere he said, but there's a lot of misinformation or disinformation out there about the situation. And after spending some time last night and taking a look at it, I agree wholeheartedly with them. There's a lot of fear mongering that's put towards this. And, we'll talk about that here in a bit. So, Russian rubles now backed by gold. Now, first thing that should be mentioned, this is something that Putin is doing only through June 30th of this year. July 1st, that stops. So this is not a permanent thing for him. He's doing it just through June 30th. And at that point, they'll assess whether they want to keep moving forward with backing the ruble with gold, or if they're going to back off of that. So this is not a permanent thing that the Russians are doing, at this point at least. So let's just talk some basic stats right now. For every 84 rubles, it equals $1, $1 US. And so they basically came out and they pegged the ruble to gold. So what does that mean? So they said 5,000 rubles will buy a gram of gold. So for every gram of gold that they will pay $5,000 for. Okay, so you got 5,000 rubles per gram. So that works out to be, if you convert that into US dollars, that works out to be about 59.5 US dollars per gram is what the Russians are willing to pay, which works out to be about $1,851 per ounce. So right now gold is about $1,930 per ounce. So they're not really being competitive on a global scale because obviously we pay more than that for it right now, obviously not at the levels that they're doing, but countries are not going to be pumping their gold into Russia just because they've now backed their ruble with it, because they're not being competitive with their price. So why did he do this then? There's a couple reasons. But first, let's lay out a little bit about their mining. So Russia mines about 300 tons of gold each year. In comparison, the U.S. Mines about 190 tons. China's top dog, they mine about 380 tons of gold per year. Russia's total output represents about 10% of the global production of raw gold. So that's significant, and this is one of the reasons why Putin has done this, where he's backed the ruble with gold. A couple reasons. So one is that these mining companies and the banks in Russia, they're all crippled with sanctions right now. So Putin wants the production of gold to continue. He wants the mining to continue. So basically, the way I understand it is he's providing them with a central bank bailout in the sense that, okay, we're still going to buy your gold. It's going to be at this price, which is basically $18.51 per ounce as of today's numbers. And that's not as great as what they could have gotten on the open market. But guess what, guys? They can't get to the open market right now because they're being sanctioned. So they're probably still doing some deals with the UAE or China. I'm sure that they're talking with the Saudis right now. But their normal mode of operation is it's been crippled because of the sanctions. So Russia still wants these mining companies to produce for obvious reasons, and so now they're saying, okay, we're going to buy that gold that comes out of those mines at basically 5,000 rubles per gram that comes out, which isn't the greatest rate, but at least the mines are still being able to produce, still being able to keep paying the bills. Essentially, is what it comes down to, until they can get on the other side of these sanctions. That's one reason why he did this. The other reason is it completely saved the Russian economy from collapse. So the Russian ruble has started to drastically fall before Putin put this pegging in place, and when right as he initiated the backing of the ruble with gold, the rubles were exchanging at over 100 to 1 to US dollars. Now it's back down to about 84 rubles per dollar. So they put a floor on how far the ruble will fall, right? And so that really saved Russia from going into complete economic collapse. And so that's actually pretty smart on his part. And so now it went from being over 100 rubles to a US dollar. Now it's down to about 84 rubles to a US dollar. Still not as great as where they probably want to be, but given the situation that they put themselves in, they are, basically, it looks like they're trying to tread water here. No way are we sympathizing with Putin or Russia here. They've brought all of these problems upon themselves, in my mind. All right, so a lot of speculation out there that the real reason why Putin is doing this and Russia is doing this is so they can attack the petrodollar, fiat currency, and end globalization, which is that's a pretty daunting task, right? And a lot of people believe he's in cahoots with the UAE, the Chinese, the Saudis, and probably there is some level of truth to that. I will say that if that is the case, I don't know if I believe that that's the case, but I think he's just trying to save his economy of his country and keep himself basically alive at this point. But if that's not the case and he really is going after the petrodollar and globalization, I think he's going to have a rough time of it. So back in early 2000s, when when the United States went into Iraq and ousted Saddam Hussein, it was all under the guise of he had weapons of mass destruction, right? Whoever came up with that scenario is the reasoning that we went into Iraq and outed him, right? Well, that turned out to be a lie. As we all know, there were no weapons of mass destruction. It turned out the real reason why we and our ally forces went into Iraq and got him out of there was because he started taking euros for oil. He was dumping dollars and taking euros. Well, the West takes that very seriously. And this is where I think there is a level of danger into what Putin is doing. If he is trying to go after the end of globalization and the end of the petrodollar, well, we have a very well documented history of not taking that well, we as the United States and the West. So there could be, if that is his real intent, there could be real war that comes down from this, because I can guarantee that the U.S. is just not going to stand by and say, okay, yeah, bye-bye petrodollar. That's not going to happen. They're going to put up one hell of a fight. And, that'll be a sad day for the world, unfortunately. Europe will be catastrophic for Europe and for Russia and for us. So, as the one viewer said, there's a lot of misinformation out there. The facts are, right now, he's trying to save his economy, probably save his own life, keep the mining production companies going. The outside realm of him, possibility of him ending the petrodollar and ending fiat currency in the world, I think that is maybe less than 5% of his real reasoning for doing this. We'll know at the end of June. At that point, if he's going to prolong the backing of the ruble with gold, we'll know the answer to that, or at least have some more insight into that. It's definitely a very interesting time in the world, in world history. It's very exciting, not necessarily in a good way, but more in a, Freddy Krueger chasing you in your nightmare way. And it's there's a lot of speculation out there. What I would recommend you guys is don't really get your information from the CNN and the Foxes of the world. Go online and really, do your own research. Listen to a whole bunch of different viewpoints on this, and you'll finally, I think, you'll mead your way through it and figure out, what's really going on there. A lot of spin out there on both sides. Unfortunately, mainstream media is not a trustworthy place for our information. Our government has not always been the most forthcoming. We've seen how the Iraq War got started and ended. And you can't really believe what the Russians say either. Not at all. So none of these governments are really trustworthy in being able to say, okay, yeah, that's what's going on. So you really just do your own research, guys. Think about what's actually going on, and turn off the mainstream media is really all I can say. Not a lot of fear. Not a lot of real fear right now with this. Again, I think he's just trying to save his own hide. But time will tell, and we'll keep an eye on it. And as things progress, maybe we'll cycle back and come talk about this again. But right now, I wouldn't go too crazy with trying to prepare for the end of the petrodollar, if you will. I don't think that's happening at this point in time, at least. So again, I'm Brian with Vermillion Enterprises. We are located at 5324 Spring Hill Drive in sunny Spring Hill, Florida. If there's anything we can do for you, please hit us up. We take orders by phone. We take orders through the internet. Of course, we're open for business here in our shop. We're here Monday through Friday, 10 to 5 p.m., Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And guys, we're always here for you. We appreciate the viewership. Hit that like and subscribe button and leave us a comment. Tell us what you think. And if there's anything we do for you, please let us know. Thank you.